Another week and another episode of the Emergency Storage Shed Cleanout series. We are up to episode 77. If you're new here, that's 77 weeks in a row without fail. We have got something out of this shed. I've got nearly enough room to dance in the front section. There's a lot more to go, a lot more treasures, a lot more interesting stuff, some repairs, some scrapping, some discoveries. Let's see what we've got to do today. We have some empty shelves, which is awesome, and I must say thank you to the people that have contacted me. I've managed to sell some vintage computers to Bob in Tassie and to Steve in Queensland. I've had some interest in the CRT TVs. There's a guy in Bendigo who we might be able to do some business with. I've been putting more stuff in the shop, and I'm really pleased that these shelves are opening up. I had someone ask about this Pioneer Turntable, so we will have a look at that today. And then, well, we maybe should get back into the middle. There's some boxes of tools. I don't know what's in those jars. We probably should clean out underneath the middle next. I would like to take that double rack out. There's one table sitting on top of another table. They're really not tables, they're just pipe frames. And there's some boxes of stuff at the top. Obviously, we'll have to get that off first, but we'll probably work our way down that section after we look at this Pioneer Turntable. What's involved in that, I don't know. It might be a quick test and we might move on straight away. We also then have a bit more electronic stuff up the top. There's some boom boxes, there's some vintage CRT TVs. I'm not sure what's in that plastic tub. And we do have some boxes of random household stuff and all sorts of things. There's a cuckoo clock in that box down there. More power tools again. There'll be more tools in those toolboxes. There's another CRT computer monitor there. We have lots of random stuff, and I know there's some really interesting stuff back in here. Some of it came from my shipping container that I had been stashing good stuff in for many years, thinking I'll get back to that one day when I'm short on money. And, well, luckily, I guess, I never got back to it. So we will be dealing with it in this shed. There's also some Bakelite radios, some more early computer monitors up there. It looks like a milk separator in there. Some very random stuff, and I didn't move it all myself. I had a lot of help, so I honestly don't remember what's in here. There's an early VHS video player, or it's a beta one, I think. Not too sure. Don't know what we're going to do with that. There's some nice old tools in a box down there. So if you get sick of electronics, you don't have to wait long. It's a bit like the weather in Melbourne. If you don't like the weather, just wait half an hour and it'll be a totally different season. So we are going to get a lot of variation out of here. But I do need to test this Pioneer Turntable in this video. Okay, it's a few days later, but I've got to this record player. It is a Pioneer Turntable, but we can't put it on the bench in front of me because it's full of stuff, and I need to plug this into an amplifier to test it, so it's off to the other room. Yeah, I know there's even less room in this room, but I don't have a choice. We've got room on the bench. Let's have a look. And there we go, just enough room to land. It's very dusty on the top. I'm not sure where it came from. The top hinge is broken. No, the hinges look okay. So it's a Pioneer stereo turntable. I don't know what model it is. We'll check that out in a minute. The top looks complete and okay. It's probably a bit scratched. They nearly always are. And I did a video on actually polishing one of these back. And if I can find it, it was quite a while ago, I'll link it up top. But it's a lot of work to bring these back. I'm not going to put the effort in on this one. If someone else wants to do it, that's fine. It certainly can be done. I'll just basically clean this off with a glass cleaner so that it's not so dusty. But it has a few areas of scuffing. We'll see what it's like when I've cleaned it up anyway. Now the top should actually remove pretty easily. Some of them go sideways. I think this one does go sideways. There we go. So there's no damage to the hinges. The top looks pretty good, other than dirty, and it will be a bit scratched. So everything looks okay here. The tone arm looks pretty good. It's got a needle in it. I don't know what it's like. The mat itself looks to have a little bit of, maybe it's got something stuck to it. It looks a bit deformed, but it's still soft enough. Turntable looks okay. It's a belt drive. The belt looks very loose. I can see it through here. Yeah, that belt's not going to drive at all. I did buy a packet of belts on eBay. I wonder if we're going to have one for it. So that's easy to fix if that's the only trouble. In fact, we'll take it off because There's no way known that's going to drive. It's just flopping around in there. It's amazing it's even still on the platter. So the platter should lift off. Maybe it's stuck. Sometimes the grease sort of glues these things in position, so I'm not sure what's going on there. We'll get to that in a minute then. Let's see if we can see a model number on it. Oh, the cords have been cut. Well, I didn't even think of that. So power cord's cut, the audio cord's cut. All right, do we go to that much trouble, or do I just sell it as a project for someone else? So it's a model RONDO-3000X/Y. I might do a quick search to see if they're of any value. Pioneer were a pretty good brand. It should hold some value, but clearly its value as is now has dropped quite a lot because we can't even test it without a bit of work. And of course it needs a new belt. Let's have a look on eBay and see if we can find anything similar. Pioneer RONDO-3000. We won't write anything else in. It's got 3000X or Y. I might just leave it at 3000 and see what it comes up with. Okay, there's a RONDO-3000 amplifier. There's a turntable. That's the same one. It's got X/Y. So $120, no bids. Still got 5 days to go. All right, any others? There was 19 results for the Pioneer. Rondo, well, that must have been a series, I guess, given that they have amplifiers and tuners. There's another one, $200. Buy it now, 132 watches. That's interesting. But the fact that it hasn't had a bid at $200 tells me it's not super rare. All right, let's have a look at completed items. Now we have a stereo amplifier receiver sold at $420. Another one, 10 bids, only 107, not working. All right, so the amplifiers are quite sought after. Here's a turntable, $140, no bids. Let's see what they said about it. It looks in pretty good condition. It's the same as ours. Even the top cover looks good. What's their description say? Made in Japan. Condition very good. Some usage wear, rusty spots on the hinges, few blemishes. Lid non-original, good stylus, in working order. So this one, let's scroll through the pictures. Actually, we'll click on that. Oh, they've even got some video of it playing by the looks of that. So it looks in pretty good condition. Possibly slightly better than ours. Well, it is better than ours because it works. So it's got a good belt on it, and also it's got cords on it. So the lid is branded Pioneer, but it actually said non-original. Anyway, that's a nice working unit. There we go. That's what we're missing, is the cords. And it did not sell for $140. I think I'd still like to try and get this one going. Let's have a look at it. Now, of course, the unit's not worth hardly anything when it doesn't go and no cords on it. I'd be lucky to get, I don't know, $20 or $30 for it. Whereas if it is going and we've got a new belt on it, I think I could probably pull 100. I didn't show you on eBay, but when we were looking at the current listings first up, there was one at 120. Well, that was the one that the seller had tried to get 140 for, and he relisted at 120. Still doesn't have any bids. But then postage is quite an issue on these things because they're fairly bulky. I reckon it's worth $100 in the shop if it's going. So I reckon we need to have a better look at it. You can see the belt through this side. So the belt's on there. It hasn't turned to sludge, but it's very loose and slippery. You can see it's just sliding past the motor spindle there. The motor spindle moves freely. We have to get the platter off, and we have to get into it to look at replacing the cords. So that's the next step. I think it's worth doing. I would like to save it if I could. And if I can get it going, well, I might have someone interested. The other thing is we do want to play some records in the shop. I've had someone else ask for a record player, so I have some incentive to try and get it going. Okay, everyone's heard of the phrase pick your battles, I take it, and that means I'm not going to devote a lot of time and money to this. I have changed my mind. I noticed that the stylus, I couldn't feel it properly before, but on a closer inspection, it's no good. It's broken under there, so I would need to get a new stylus for it. I just checked online and I saw one for about $80. I think you can get aftermarket type things for still about $30 plus postage. Plus I've got to wait, so that just adds more money to the deal. The clip here isn't working properly. We had a bit of deformation to the rubber mat here. I've tried levering the platter and I can't get the platter out, so that needs work. We've got to put cords on it as well. And as I said, I think it's only a $100 unit in good going condition. So I'm just going to wipe the lid down, make it look a bit more presentable, put it in the shop for $20. Someone may use it as a prop. Someone might have more time and money than I do and are happy to gradually get it going. But I'm going to quit this battle while I'm ahead. And even with the top cleaned, it's still very scratched. That's as good as it's going to come up with a clean. And the other thing is that I have no guarantees that the motor's okay, so we would need to test that before we started ordering parts. So as you can see, some of these things can turn into a real rabbit hole, and I just have too much to do to delve into this one. So we'll call this video quits here, guys, and we haven't got anything other than a $20 prop, I guess, or a project for someone else, but at least we've made decisions, and that's what this whole series is all about. It's not about making a fortune, and sometimes I will invest a lot of time and money into something that's just simply not worth it. But given that my time constraints at the moment and needing to make some space there because we've still got all the junk on the deck from when I cleaned out the carport, I'm just going to take this to the shop as it is for $20. If any of you guys want it, let me know. You will need to be local because I won't post it. But there we go. Someone might use it for parts. The tone arm's probably worth $20. So that's where we're up to. It's all about showing you guys how I deal with things, how I do a bit of research, how I weigh up everything, make decisions. And in normal times when I'm repairing stuff and running a business as such, I wouldn't look at anything unless I could make my $50, $60 an hour. A lot of times in the jobs we're doing, we don't do that. But then again, I get videos out of it for you guys. So we'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.